Lando Norris has got a wide open space in the turn one, but behind, Perez goes into Lewis Hamilton. And then what happened there with the Alfa Romeos, Zach?
Well, yeah, so first of all, the Perez hits, yeah, he's jinxed over by the Ferrari. Then Fernando Alonso gets past him. This is the one I want to see. Oh, that was a nasty hit, wasn't it? Yeah, I think a similar thing happened there, Crofty. Nothing to do with
reaction.
Yeah.
And is that just the sort of thing that happens at a start here in Suzuka? Because you're not cut you off with your pride, but then for that moment, Lando Norris is thinking, I could get them.
They had two very, very lengthy pit stops. Now I'm seeing another Williams in. That's Sargent, I think, has come in again. Sargent starting from the pit lane has come in. So it won't matter.
Have you managed to get the car up to enough speed, James, to check the aero loading of the car at this point or not?
I doubt it, parking.
So it's about one to two turns of the front flat, the front wing. So it's degrees. And Norris has to have reactions like a cat to keep up with him. There he goes.
Like he did at the start as well. Right, green flag then, let's go racing once more. Verstappen's got the jump, and away then goes Max Verstappen over the line. And then, if Alonso's got good traction and decent braking, difficult to pick your braking spot there, goes a little wider on that line, behind Carlos Sainz. That's the line he preferred to take.
Yeah, really making good use of the soft tyre.
Can you trust? Big lock-up from Logan Sargent, and then he tags Nelson, not really having any chance of getting out of that particular incident. Logan Sargent has come into the pits as a result of that, and he is running last with Bottas ahead of him. Soft tyres, but there's a struggle going on, sadly.
Made his life even more difficult. This Grand Prix is such a hard track to overtake.
We saw it when he was at Sauber, when he was at Force India Racing Point. Sergio Perez would come through the field looking after his tyres. I forgot to learn a lot. Sergio Perez trying to get rid of one of the cars in front of him, which is Esteban Ocon. He went for a move in the turn one, he just went for a move there at the end of the S's, and neither came off. And Logan Sargent has got a 5-second penalty to add to the 10th front of Carlos Sainz to the 1:39.1 on the last lap. Alonso did a 1:39.8, 7 tenths of a second difference. Now, Sergio Perez, as Yuki Tsunoda comes into the pits, he was on softs as well. This is what I was going to suggest. He needs to do what George Russell did on Lewis Hamilton, get his muscles out into that chicane. But look at the speed Esteban Ocon has got. He's already pulling car length after car length every time the wheels turn round on Kevin Magnussen.
Call with Alonso there, so they were prepared to go early. And what's triggering that is those that started on the soft at the back of the field all look to be switching to the 3-stop strategy that we mentioned may be possible. They've all done 10, 11 laps in that soft tyre.
Facing the wrong way down at the hairpin, and that has rather ruined Kevin Magnussen's race. Finally manages to spin around, but there's
coming to the pits.
They can't take advantage of it.
Then that is brilliant news for Piastri. Yeah, it's green.
Who saved about 10 seconds of his race time by being in the pits at the right time. Whilst he hasn't... Now, I think he's got ahead, but whilst he's not allowed to overtake under a safety car or a virtual safety car, if the car in front has significant damage and is moving along, corners, there's no runoff area down there. Ask Pierre Gasly. He's already crashed so far this weekend at that point. And Hamilton, with a lot of dirt on his tyres, now having his hands full, trying to defend against George Russell, who wants to go around the outside. That's Russell. Now, we mentioned right at the start, Red Bull having one set less of the hard tyre compared to their rivals. And we'll talk about that in a moment as Lando Norris now comes in for a pit stop, and it looks like Charles Leclerc,
Leclerc, who followed him in, so was always going to guarantee to come out behind him, is on the racier tyre. So Leclerc's gone onto a new medium, Crofty.
Yeah, a little bit more...
George Russell not fighting this one.
Yeah, he's not in his race today.
Verstappen retakes the lead on lap 19 of this Japanese Grand Prix. Now that he's pitted, George Russell hasn't. Russell's not having a 7th place and does.
Yeah, Fernando just tried to minimise the angle of attack on the exit of the hairpin to try and compromise Sainz's progress. But with
anything on Fernando Alonso, that Aston Martin not performing on the hard tyre at all. It just looks so slow compared to the Mercedes now that they've switched from the soft to the hard. Meanwhile, talking of Mercedes, as Gasson up into 8th place. Fernando Alonso thrown to the lions, having no attack whatsoever through 130. We've had 3 retire from this race. Bottas, Perez and Stroll. We've now got Lewis to manage your pace a little bit more. Esteban Ocon defending against Fernando Alonso. I know you don't brake when you go into turn 1 instantaneously, but was that moving around in the zone a bit too much? There was a bit of takes Oscar Piastri and doesn't force any unnecessary pressure on him if Lando's been asked just to back off a little bit. That might be, team-wise, a good call to make if they're trying to maximise things as a team. Get out of this hole here, because you put me in a position that we shouldn't be in, and you need to find a way past. Esteban Ocon too quick in a straight line. Luckily, there isn't much straight line here for the Alpine to exploit. He's now enjoying this trio. Well, you say that, Fernando's going to make it hard for him. He'll do it eventually, but not straight out of that hairpin. He'll do it because he's got the inside line going towards a smooth curve. About 3 times now before it. He had DRS. Oscar's looking to his left, but Lando's not coming that way. Coming to the right. And he has been gaining a lot. Then backed off for a couple of laps, and then I think started to gain again. That radio way off the base, and just kept him going and used it for development. That'd be interesting if Perez comes back out onto the track. Logan Sargent is out of this race, and it seems his teammate Alex Albon is also going to be
Some of his car alongside before they even committed to the corner.
double DNFM for Williams. Their last one was Singapore in 2022. Meanwhile, in the battle for 3rd, Oscar Piastri struggling on his
0.8 from Burton. Thank you very much. His last lap was a 1 minute 37.6.
too fast.
Yeah, Tifar's got time in the bag, George.
Take it easy, George. Charles Leclerc, because Alonso's moved up to 9th.
Yeah, those mediums starting to fade away, as you'd naturally expect, compared to the hard tyres of Alonso. Even though Alonso's not entirely happy with his strategy, he's still able to make some positions up, and neither of the others.
Nobody's seen him for a while. Joe Guan, you might see him in a little bit, because he's going to be lapped very, very shortly, I think, by Max.
Tear it away to say, are we allowed to do this? I mean, I know Red Bull are good with the rules and everything, but this is taking the biscuit, isn't it? The FIA have said, yeah, we think you are allowed to do it. So go for it. Even at the next race, the driver does. But I've never known that to be subsequently held over if that driver retires. What about Logan Sargent? He didn't serve either of his penalties, as far as I know, did he? And he's retired.
One thing that looks pretty certain from here on in, unless there's any mechanical issues, is that Red Bull are going to be Constructors' champions for a 6th time. They need to outscore Mercedes by 1 point and not be outscored by Ferrari by 20. I'm amazed you found time to go into the scorching range on that one.
It's 54.3.
the ultimate multitasker, Bernie Collins. Thank you so much for that. I think there was something in the race about it.
To a 38.1, we knew it was a 37.8 that the team were targeting. That's what that message was all about.
Bernie.
Yeah, I think that at the moment, Norris would come out behind him when he hits, and we're expecting
That he was to declare. It'd be interesting to see if I'm sure they're going to pit Sainz this lap.
Well, Piastri is going to box as well. They're going to react to that, the McLaren, to protect him. Carlos Sainz was for him. You think is though, they might get undercut, but Sainz will be on slightly fresher tyres. Is track position that vital here?
It depends on, as you
Well, there he goes for the fastest lap. I don't know if that was out, that was the second one, but he's responded, and that's his some pace that he's got over Charles Leclerc. Now they're both on the hard compound tyre. Red Bull are going to race ahead of him. Carlos Sainz has only stopped once, and Max Verstappen has stopped twice and is still in the lead of this race, enjoying a very comfortable return to leading a race, something that he didn't experience, and where Max Verstappen almost got overtaken by Lando Norris, but survived that and has looked pretty comfortable out in front ever since. Oscar Piastri did get overtaken by his teammate. Piastri and Norris with a more sort of
equal pit stop strategy, so Ocon might be able to close on Alonso. Alonso's made his pit stops quite quickly. The Alpines have spaced them out. As Sergio Perez goes out again. Crofty, I once took part in
Australian Oscar Piastri, whose tyres are offering an awful lot more grip. And you rather get the feeling that with some DRS, if Oscar's got it down the main straight, it's going to be quite tight going into turn 1. We're on board with George Russell. We can see
Kane, he looked much closer this time. You got to time it right and pick your moment.
Picked his moment there.
Or out of Kane.
Well, he picked his moment there, but he just ran out of room to do it.
Russell's got it covered. He crosses the line over, and what he's going to do is get to crystallise the speed of that car. But next up, it's Charles Leclerc's turn.
Just to say, Charles Leclerc is now in striking position. Lewis Hamilton will be in striking position soon as well. You get the feeling that this brave...
Because suddenly you just lose so much grip.
I think that cliff's coming. 138.5 last
Ah.
time. Russell.
Lubos, opo pa.
And with Charles Leclerc now heading towards it. Go for it.
Yeah, that's the right call. We've seen too many times, haven't we, how vulnerable you are at the end of a race when there's a safety car and others are around you with fresh tyres, even if they're out of position.
Oh, but Charles Leclerc, who just squeezes ahead of George Russell and deserves the applause from every single one of the fans. Banked around the outside at turn 2. That was bravery and trust in your rival. Teammate, 177, I'd make that. It means that if Max goes on to win today, that a podium finish in the sprint.
There's enough of a tyre offset that I don't think it's going to really come to blows this time.
Yeah, but I do disagree with what you're saying, because race control is really an advantage. So that should work with the two Mercedes drivers. As we head towards the hairpin now, Lewis Hamilton seems a little bit too far back. He's got Carlos Sainz right on his tail. Ted, down to you. So this second, as we watch Carlos Sainz approaching Lewis Hamilton into the hairpin, Sainz doesn't make the lunge. Lewis Hamilton can't make the move on George Russell.
Lewis has got the protection with the DRS and the Ferrari behind. That's what George was referring to. Look what they did. Look what that guy did last week. And that's what I can do for Lewis. He's not going to overtake Leclerc. I'll protect. So that's the game they were playing. Invert the positions and then give George the DRS. He's so vulnerable here. Sainz can't do it at this point. George desperately needs the DRS now. Lewis has backed off enough.
George Russell, so they can't even do that to try and give themselves an extra point in this race. Not long to go here for your driver of the day. This driver that is dominating is Max Verstappen. He's not going from start to finish.
Reflected it, didn't we, at the end of the race? As we said, you know, Hamilton would be fighting his teammate once again on better tyres, and with the offset, Sainz would be coming back at Lewis. Who wasn't helped with that situation. Second, around 1 second advantage pace-wise, the car that you're fighting to overtake on track with similar age tyres. And I don't think Sainz has quite got that over Lewis.
This is going to be a 28th win. To win the Japanese Grand Prix, and Red Bull can start the celebrations for a sixth Constructors' Championship, a second consecutive Constructors' Champion.
Let's go, guys! Another win. Unbelievable.
Max, that was absolutely...
Podium for him today, his first ever podium in Formula 1. And driver of the day, I think that's...
Get it all done on a Saturday, put his feet up on a Sunday.